So recently during a counseling session with one of the women that I'm counseling, she said this.
I don't know if I'm gonna, really get with any guys, because I just feel like I'm carrying around a lot of baggage right now.
What do you mean by baggage?
Well, I don't have, a lot of money, because I don't have, the greatest job right now. It's just, baggage. I don't have enough money to really be dating like that.
Girl, is you crazy? Now, ladies, you've heard this repeatedly on the internet. We done told you 11 times, you do not need a bunch of money to be dating men. You don't need any money, really. And as I'm trying to explain this to her, it just kept being more like...
But I don't know, are you sure, I don't need, money? Doesn't everybody have to have money? What is it that you need to, date a man? Are you sure it's not money?
Girl, no. Now, trying to explain to her the things that she actually needed, I thought to myself, how many other women still think the way that she does? How many other women don't know what to do because they're all...
Are you sure it's not about money?
No, I know. I get it. It's confusing. You don't know what to do, but you did the right thing. You came to class, balance of power. I got you covered with today's lesson. What a woman really needs to date a man. Let's get it in. Now, I know the dudes watching right now are probably thinking something to the effect of,
man, this video should be 30 seconds. All you need is just to be like, hey, I'm available, and dudes will come flocking.
Yeah, if we were just talking about hitting it, but this ain't talking about hitting it. We're talking about a woman actually wanting to get into a real relationship with a man. So, ladies, understand that distinction. This is not just hit it and quit it. This is not just getting a guy to hang around you for a little while. This is a dude beginning a relationship with you. That is the point of these things. Now, it comes down to really 5 things. So I'm going to break down these 5. But please, like I said, ladies, remember, this is different than just getting any old attention from a guy. It's different than getting a guy to go on a date with you. It's different than some guy saying, hey, you look good, or your attention of just quick whatever. This is getting him from looking at you just like, oh, she's hot, I might eat a little bit, I'm hungry, to I'm going to turn this into a home-cooked meal situation. But ladies, something to keep in mind when I'm talking about these 5 in how the mind of a man works. So there's really 3 choices for each of these 5 questions or things that we're looking for. So there's the heads side of it, there's the tails side of it, and then there's the center. If the coin was spinning, and basically right on his side. So I'm going to be going in the order of most known to least known. So number 5 will be the least known. So make sure you watch till the end because you might not have understood or heard about that 5th one. So number 1, are you ugly/attractive? So yes, many of you might know, oh duh, we know this one. Yeah, but that's the point. I said we're starting from most known to least known. So that's the first thing we think about. It doesn't necessarily mean, ladies, it's the most important. It just means it's the first thing that needs to happen. But what you might not realize in that, like I said, is there's 3 choices. Are you ugly? Are you attractive? Or are you neither? I know, you might not have thought about that, ladies, but it's like sometimes you're not in the ugly category and you're not in the hotness category, but you're just in the middle. Are you in a position where we as men can think to ourselves, I can work with that? There is so much about our makeup that has us thinking that way when we're going through choices is there's left, there's right, but then there's I could work with that. So as long as you're at least I could work with that or better, crossing over into attractive and hotness, then the dude will look at you in terms of I can get into a relationship with her. Now, if you're in the ugly category, unfortunately, you have just been placed into the friend zone. It's one of the only ways that a dude will place you in a friend zone without him just falling there accidentally. He will look at you and be like, nah, she's strictly the homie. Number 2, are you a hoe or are you sexually conservative? Like I said, yes, remember, this is not about just hitting and quitting. This is not about, oh, he'll want to like have you around for like a week or two. This is him deciding that he wants to be in a relationship, date you / make you his girlfriend for real, for real. But again, remember ladies, you can have the tails of use a hoe, you can have the heads of you're sexually conservative, but you can also have the spinning coin in the middle of you're not too far on one side or the other. Men can work with that and anything that we think is better. So the first two, you might have found them to be obvious, but the third one, maybe not so much. This is where it starts to cross over into stuff you may not know about. Number 3, are you playing or are you serious about a relationship? And really what that means is, yes, we as men, if we're going to be serious about you, we need to know, are you in this for the casual of it all? Are you in this where you're just still trying to figure out who you are and what you want, and I'm really just healing myself? We don't have time for those kinds of things when we are on a hunt for an actual relationship. We might deal with it for a little bit, so you could be in that middle zone, a little bit of we can work with that, but it depends on the seriousness of the man in that moment. So if he is serious, he's not even going to go with the I will work with that. If you're still kind of willy-nilly, he's going to want someone who's serious about being in a relationship, in a long-term committed, we gonna do this, not inviting other people in, or I'm still figuring it out, or I really want something casual. Those things matter to a dude who wants to do this. Number 4. Yes, I know it's weird. Are you stupid or are you smart? As I've said many times in other videos, no man wants a stupid woman. So yeah, if you are stupid, you have automatically been classified as someone who we're not going to take you seriously at all. You're not going to be anyone who we can be with for a long period of time. You have to be either smart or right in the middle. A lot of you people in general will be right in the middle when it comes to intelligence. It's got to be a situation at least where we could work with that. If you don't have a level of intelligence in which we can work with because you crossed over into stupid land, no dude is going to accept you for the long term. Just nobody. Number 5, are you lazy or are you willing to work during the relationship? Now, ladies, don't get this twisted. Don't get it mixed up with working on the relationship. What's the difference? The difference really is you can work to get the relationship. That's working on the relationship of like, oh, I want to make sure we get the relationship and then, we stay together. Huh? That's like acquiring, that's the easy part. Or even when you're in it already, as you see it start to slip, trying to still grab onto it and keep it, that's not really what we're talking about here. Working during the relationship is basically, are you willing to do the work it takes to maintain your job in the relationship? Are you doing the things you need to do on your end on a daily basis? Not you working to capture the dude and not you working to keep your claws in. I don't know why I'm thinking you got claws or whatever, but I don't know. Or you're not working just to keep hold of him, just to have him if you see things start to slip. This is the daily, everyday, day in, day out, working on things like simple reciprocation. It is something that we can judge about you fairly easily, even in the beginning, if we just look at how lazy you are in that area. Reciprocation. Let's take communication. Reciprocation, communication. So let's say he calls you 10, 12 times, and you've only called him like once, twice. If he's the one initiating all the conversation every time you talk, we're calculating that. We're thinking about, she never is the one to call me. I'm always the one to call her. And yes, there is a level, ladies, in which we will accept. We know that we have to go first, and we know that we have to go more. But how much more do we have to go? If the gap starts to get too much, it crosses over from being pursuit of you into you just being straight up lazy. You just feeling like you don't have to do any work in this relationship. It's just about him. It's about him making you happy. It's about him giving you what you want. It's about us making sure that we're catering to you. But are you going to cater to us? Yes. If we're serious about a relationship, we factor that in. This is a relationship in which we are both giving to each other. So if you're not a giver, if you're just a taker, if you're just somebody who's just gonna take my stuff, nah, we're not about that. So if you want more details about how women being lazy is not really tolerated by dudes, we already talked about it right here. But the point still being, ladies, that yeah, we factor that in. We look at you and we factor in how much work would you be willing to put in this relationship. We already know who we are. We already know how we've been taught. We already know what society and Hansel,
that Hansel's so hot right now,
has said about what we need to do as men. It's hot right now to make sure men are working for women, that we are constantly working and doing things for you. We know this.
And you know this, man?
But what we don't know, ladies, is if you're going to work for us in this relationship. Is it just going to be lopsided, or are we actually going to get it popping? Are you willing to work during the relationship? So those are the 5 basic things I broke down to her and any other woman I counsel. It's just to remind you all, ladies, that you don't have to have a bag. You don't have to have this big old Scrooge McDuck sized bag of money. We don't want a bag. You just gotta come with no baggage.
That's no baggage.
So you being a boss babe or whatever, that's cool for you and your friends maybe, but it's not anything that we need as a man. Now the list of what we need to go further into deeper boyfriend, long-term husband, those kinds of things, it's a little longer, but it's still not too crazy. But nowhere on the list, whether you're talking about this quick one or one to get a husband, neither of these lists require you to be a boss babe with a bunch of money. And in fact, oftentimes, ladies, that is a deterrent. Now that's today's lesson. Now if you found value in this video, and I know you did, hit that subscribe button. Throw thumbs, do all of this. Make sure the algorithm knows that you want to see all of the videos
From this channel.
to continue to get better, faster, stronger.
Balance power all day.
And also don't forget, especially if you're a gentleman watching this, and you got a woman in your life who needs to hear this message, slide this video to her and all the other women who need to hear it. Now I know you love these videos. Where else you gonna hear gold bars of knowledge dropped on you on a daily? Nowhere. You know you ain't going nowhere.
where you going? Nowhere.
So come on back and click on another one of these videos. Get some more learning in. But until next time, no. Deuce deuce.